Good afternoon, soccer fans. Are ready for the Green Bay Glory to host RWD Adria. Game is being played at the Banta Bowl in Appleton, Wisconsin. Jacob Nate and Alex Young here to take you through tonight's game.
No, and what a game it's going to be. I mean, we've got two incredible teams here at the top of the table. It's going to be a great match.
Early on in this young season, as the teams are out there ready for the national anthem. There, as we said once again, Green Bay Glory versus RWD Adria Chicago in this early season Midwest Premier League action on NSN.
What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day for a match like this. Again, typically here we have in the middle of May weather that's hit or miss. You either have torrential downpours or beautiful weather, and this is smack dab in the middle. We're looking here mid to high 60s, slightly overcast. Perfect Saturday for a match.
And avoided spring weather that this area hit with, as Alex and I both live in the general area of Appleton where this match is taking place. Many of the areas in central Wisconsin hit by severe weather the last couple of days, but we avoid that today, and we get a double header as the Glory women will take on, I have that note written in front of me right next to me, Milwaukee City FC coming up after this, but the match first here starting just momentarily.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be having, for viewers at home, we're going to be having the Green Bay Glory moving from right to left. We have RWD Adria moving from left to right as we get started here.
Green Bay Glory's head coach, Patrick Berter, coaches and plays. And then the coaches for RWD Adria is Derek Huffman and Mark Lonkar.
And this is something a little bit different than most teams where you mentioned Patrick Berter. Both coaches and plays, he's known for having a great tactical mind and really building on a player-coach model, focusing on that player development and leadership. And then you've got Elliot Bordini, who is the men's team founder and captain off the field, managing everything from recruiting and marketing to fundraising activities. And this roster is stacked with returning players, obviously the men's team going through having their inaugural season this past year and placing second in the division and being able to move up into Division 1 here for the Midwest Premier League.
So early success for the Glory, and Glory move the ball back, controlling the opening kick here. Full possession so far in favor of the Glory. This field, the Lawrence University football/soccer pitch. Glory push it up the sideline, and there is the first possession for Adria.
Now, one thing to definitely keep in mind for those teams that the Glory definitely have an advantage playing here in the Banta Bowl with all of the different lines, like you said, Jacob. The team for Lawrence University on their sports.
Ball pushed into the box for the Glory. Camera lost the pan, but appeared to have gone out of bounds for a Adria goal or throw in here. Yes, this Glory team, a very young team as far as its existence. Glory women have existed since, I believe, 2019, and then the men's joined last year, but not shy of experience with some of the signings they have brought on recently.
Yeah, they are. They definitely have quite the powerhouse for some of the players on the field. You have Osvaldo Ozzy Ramirez, who is a former professional player out of Mexico, also one of the team's captains. Rodolfo Jr. Ramirez, who is Ozzy's brother, also played professionally. And then that's just two of the incredibly talented Glory men's roster that we have.
Pressure brought on by the Glory, sent out of bounds for Adria. One of the interesting things about this particular field is the goal, or the back end of the goal here, where the ball is now. There is no netting up by that football goalpost, so a ball can kind of sail that direction or scratch that. There is the net on that side, but down on the other side where we haven't seen much action yet, there's a woods back there, and if a ball gets just a little bit too wide of the little bit of netting there is there, that ball can sail deep into the woods. This ball pushed forward across midfield.
I don't expect that to happen a whole lot. Obviously, both of these teams, as I mentioned earlier, Jacob, being at top of the table in points, both of them with goal differentials in the positive, leading to that top of the table performance for each of them. So I'd expect quite a few shots on goal, but being at the top, this is also two teams that are going to be solid on defense. Obviously, Glory playing heavily into the Adria defense and the Adria side of the field. We'll see if that continues as the game goes on.
And with a young team like the Glory are, yet to be really determined, fully found out how they're going to pick their moments, especially on a young season like this. Are they going to apply the pressure, or are they going to sit back at midfield and pick their moments back? We'll maybe see how that starts to play out as this game advances on later into the match. Bouncing around between the two here at midfield. Again, if you're just joining a little bit late, Green Bay Glory in the black kits working from right to left. RWD Adria working left to right in the white kits. Ball pushed up the sideline. Glory hoping to possess, but losing into the goalkeeper's feet. That out of bounds will go for a Glory throw-in. Bringing a couple extra men up, hoping to pick an early moment and jump out to a 1-0 lead. Throw in all the way into the top of the box. But turned over to Chicago.
Yeah, it looks like the linesman having the flag up, indicating an infraction over on the far side of the field. Must have been a throw-in that the linesman saw something that they did not like.
Still early in this match. Clock obviously not showing any numbers on the screen, but we are only probably 10 minutes or so, if that, even into this match. Played at the Banter Bowl at St. Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin. Adria has it. Camera panning. Pushed across midfield. Adria has not had the ball deep into Glory territory quite yet in this one, as most of the ball being played on the Glory's attacking half of the field. So I was way off on my estimation. We're only at 5 minutes into the game.
Time flies when you're having fun.
But yeah, as we were talking at the start of this broadcast, a beautiful night for this match. Have avoided the weather that this area saw the last 2 days. Severe storms went through, but turf field like this holds up well to the rain, and the weather, for the most part, stayed damaging away from the university campus. Glory again controlling it here near the midfield stripe. Have been in a heavy possession percentage-wise so far early in this match, as they again work up the sideline. Pushed forward into the box, but deflected out of bounds, and we'll get a corner to Glory. First corner of the game.
Now, typically when you get into matches like this, you definitely have the teams that are able to win the ball in the air tend to have more success throughout the match as you have some of these set pieces. So we'll see if the Glory is able to capitalize on something like this, or if Adria Chicago is able to defend.
Ball sent in, bounces loose, Glory maintain, but blocked away and saved. Kicked back towards the midfield. But Glory keeping pressure on.
Looks like being able to retain possession.
But now a chance for Adria as they push forward the other direction. May have the advantage. But sent forward just a little too far. And Glory survive the counter by Adria. Glory pushing good defense, man on man there. Shot on. But turned into a goal kick for RWD Adria.
And Jacob, you had mentioned earlier, a lot of possession so far seems to be favoring the Green Bay Glory as they move the field, or I should say move out of their defense end up the field. I'm seeing a lot of comfort with having the ball at their feet in those 50-50 possessions or one-on-one challenges. Do you think that's going to go through and translate into something here in the next few minutes, or are we going to have RWD Adria being able to capitalize on that quick change of direction off the corner kick?
Yeah, it's something that's always interesting to see how both teams really come out, but how a road team, after the busts that some teams have to get to the pitch, whether you're on time or not, if you don't start that game hot and the home team can steal that quick goal on you and you start playing from behind, that can take your legs out from underneath you before you even get anywhere into the game, where fatigue starts to set in. And luckily this is early on in the game, but both teams, that's the quick advantage you can get. You put that goal on board, it calms yourself down very quickly as Adria gets it centered into the box. But if you can steal a quick goal early on, either way, obviously it's real easy to say, but the team that's playing from ahead always has the advantage. And that possession right there is about the most we've seen Adria have it inside Glory's half feet. They had the stretch run, but that was about a 3-second possession. Otherwise, most of the game has been played with Adria defending their own half. Ball centered back halfway through the Glory's defending half of the field. And a shot on, but deflected through. Glory take back. Going to see what they do with this, but it turned over back to Adria. Cross it back across the field. Up the far sideline. And taken away once again by the Glory. They're going to push that back into goal and reset possession.
Bit of a risky decision there, working out of the backfield. Looks like the Green Bay Glory did not have clear enough vision trying to move that ball up, and RWD Adria being able to quickly capitalize before that ball bounces out for a Glory throw-in.
A throw-in that finds Adria. This is the longest drawn-out possession from Adria early on in the game, just 13 minutes into this game. Adria seems to sort of have settled down and settled into a mode now where early on, those first 13 minutes, they were to maybe just go with it a little too quickly, sending balls a little too far ahead of running players. But the last possession, short passes, completing those passes, higher percentage passes. And now momentum has switched, possession being fully taken inside the Glory's half of the field. Thrown in forward to the Glory. Slowly bringing it up near the midfield on the far side of the pitch. Again, Glory in the black kits working right to left. RWD Adria Chicago in the white kits working left to right. Adria pushes forward. Glory dispossess it, take it back and push it back up towards midfield. And 15 minutes into this match, still knotted up 0-0. Limited shots near the goal right now. Maybe a couple for the Glory. Not sure we'd really credit Adria with a shot on goal quite yet. Chance here, shot on. But saved.
Again, a lot of these first 15 minutes, each of the teams, since it's the first meeting that they're having for the season, really going through trading punches back and forth. Glory pushing out of the defense, again, trying to work the possession ball. Adria doing a great job with these quick transition pieces over the top, getting a few of the shots on goal. We'll see as the time continues to progress forward how each of these teams starts to adapt to the others and see if one of them will be able to put something in the back of the net.
Set pieces. So far, we've seen a single Green Bay corner kick. And now a free kick from near midfield sent forward. But saved by Adria's goalkeeper. This area of the field is ball maintained the first 10 minutes or so of the match. Adria got their feet under them now and have really almost swung things the opposite direction, almost evening out the percentage of control now here at the 16.5-minute mark. Plenty of contact happening out there. But ref seeming fit to let everybody play it out right now. Nothing too agreed yet.
Again, it's feeling like the referee is definitely having an understanding of each of these teams. Don't want to go back to the anecdote of them trading punches, but each of the teams feeling each other out in terms of their layout. Obviously, Green Bay Glory looks like they're going to be operating out of a flat 4 back for the defense as Adria continues to push through. They've been holding steady so far, but the referee is open to letting each of the teams play a little more physically so far.
And there's a player that's got to be something that I guess you get used to certain referees being there, but it's something you got to feel for several minutes of a match as well to see how much you can quote unquote get away with, or how much extra little attacking you can do before worrying about, well, is that one going to get called, or do I have to worry about getting carded, or can I go ahead and try and make that tackle?
Absolutely. I mean, when the match is going, you're going to have the Green Bay Glory, you're going to have Adria, and you're going to have the reffing squad. Each one of those is going to go through and have a different mindset on how the game should be played. Glory so far, again, showing that ability to work from possession. Adria really focusing on those quick counters. And the referee, everyone's trying to figure out, okay, is this a game that's going to be a little bit more physical? It looks like he's not opposed to making those calls when it comes to the free kick, because it looks like we're having the Adria having their first placement here about 20-yard line. If you're looking for the viewers at home, we're looking probably closer to I'd say close to 30 yards from the goal itself. So definitely striking distance, but expect Adria to get this ball more in the air to try and win that 50-50.
That was maybe the hardest tackle we saw early on in this game. And that was the first one that got called and creates a good opportunity for Adria here. Not quite 20 minutes in.
Looks like we're having some fantastic interpretive dance around where the ball is getting placed as some of the players are discussing how the tackle took place, and even the referee having to have a conversation with the coach as for how physical that challenge was.
And that draws a yellow card. At least that looked like yellow from our vantage point. But based on this argument,
the referee has changed the call from a yellow card to a red card.
It does switch over to a red card.
So here we are 20 minutes in. Glory players definitely not excited to already be down a player in such a heated match. Now, difficult to see for viewers at home and for us here as we are commentating on this match. Definitely a strong challenge there. Near the reserving of a yellow or a red is difficult for us to make the decision. But again, referee saw something or heard something that caused him to change his mind, switching that card from yellow to red.
And it did appear that Adria also drew a yellow out of that situation. We'll have to see if we can confirm that. But I do believe I saw a late yellow given to Adria as well. But a 6 for Adria. Glory now down to 10 on the pitch as the shot goes on the kick. But saved, keeping it 0-0 at the 21-minute mark.
Now, Jacob, with this obviously having a red card and being down to 10 players, how do you see the overall style of play changing? If you're on that field, is this something where you're to a different set as to what your mindset is working through this match, or is it something where you hold true to that possession game that the Glory have been focusing so far on here over 22 minutes?
I say for right now, you don't panic. You don't change things up quite yet. You've held a good portion of the possession, but if that scale starts to slip away from you, then you may start wanting to think about whether you need to change up your formation, change up a player or two even, maybe bring in an extra defender if that is the case, because you are down a full extra player now. It'd be too early to bring in a sub quite this point if you're going to switch that, because there's a lot of game left. But I would say keep it at your initial game plan, because it is too early to panic just because you're down one. It's soccer. All these players have played in a game where you've been down player-wise in the advantage. It's too early to panic, and it's not a situation these players are unfamiliar with. Throw in for the Glory. Sent back, now sent forward up towards midfield. Those are the passes that maybe you're going to want to really make sure you're cleaning up if you are the Glory right now. Going that direction, it's not going to be too bad, but if you are already playing a man down and give up a errant pass deep in your backfield, that is where you're going to get yourself potentially into trouble.
Yeah, and you have Adria here definitely testing out the goalkeeper a bit more, and you're seeing a lot more of the white kits moving onto the Glory side of the field, so expect Chicago to go through and start to push some of that aggression and push some of that energy up the field as you start to see not just 50-50 challenges, you're seeing one Glory to almost every two players when Chicago is going after the ball.
And that is something Adria can take advantage of. They just know, hey, we are the extra player up right now. So even though it is early on, you can get that extra little zing of excitement you may need to make those one extra little sprint or runs on these errant passes and maybe earn yourself an opportunity that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Absolutely. And with the Glory, again, being down that single player, focusing on possession and being able to move the ball around is definitely going to be into their favor as Chicago continues to press forward.
Glory have brought almost their full crew back into defense mode here, almost exclusively after that red card. Maybe just one or two behind the ball for.
Yeah, early on in this match, Chicago really going through, again, playing those counter balls over the top and testing out the Glory's defense. Typically, you only saw 1 to 2 of their offense making movement towards the Glory goal. I'm now counting over 5 of the different players. And you're going to have to, if I'm the Glory, I'm going to be looking for some of these small little transition opportunities in hopes of catching the excitement and the energy of Chicago Adria, just catching them off guard and having that counterattack.
And what we saw early on, a lot of contact being allowed to play out. Maybe it was that red card that drew it out, but now a couple different fouls being called that maybe were not early on in this game.
Looks like we have a couple pairs of fresh legs making their way onto the field for the Green Bay Glory.
Coming in, 3 out for the Glory. These are jersey Mike subs. As in substitutions, number 19 is in Caden Vandehei, number 20, Michael Warman, and number 15, Tyler Tiger.
Subs in, another yellow card brought out for Chicago. Glory may be needing to bring in a couple of those defensive players now that they did seem to have changed their method of formation, bringing extra defenders back to guard. Now the possession has fallen into the favor of Adria at red card. The red card came at the 20-minute mark. sending the Glory to now play the rest of the way out, down 10 men versus Adria's 11. But here's where your Glory may want to be able to pick that moment. They have possession taken away from Adria up on the right side, but poked away off of the Glory. Green Chicago with the throw. Now you're the Glory and you're able to just steal a possession, one extra possession, two more, and creep your way up the sideline as the ball's thrown into the top of the box. Shot on from there.
And one thing that's been observed, again, those longer throw-ins almost acting as another set piece for the Green Bay Glory, getting all the way into the middle half of the field for the Glory being able to get a shot off on goal. So expect to see more of that on that offensive third. These aren't simple possessive throw-ins. These are, how can I get the ball in a dangerous situation in front of goal?
It's not just continuation of play. It is an opportunity they're hoping to seize on. And you can use those as your 11th man, help even things back out with those set pieces. But that is where they can be dangerous. If you do turn it over, you have to watch for the counter coming from Adria. Ball sent back and forth into Glory's feet. Another one sent forward, but just too far ahead of the lone Glory player inside that 25-yard mark. Adria has it along the sideline, pushing back deep in Glory territory now, bringing it up the sideline. And near very dangerous situation, ball crossed in front of the goal, but sails clear. And Glory get the goal kick out of that situation. Could have spelt trouble. Approaching 15 minutes to gear in regulation time of the first half. Again, game being played at the Banta Bowl, Appleton, Wisconsin. $5 kickoff for game one of a men's and women's doubleheader tonight. Adria working it along their sideline. Sent forward and lost possession.
By the way, a correction on one of the Glory players entering the game was number 23, Ken Ummernick.
Another ball that was sent towards the goal, but saved by the Glory's keeper. Back and forth near midfield. Glory take possession, trying to push back quickly, gain any advantage they can. Glory are playing down. One member lost via red card at the mark.
Yeah, a bit of a difficult situation in those moments because on the one hand, for the Green Bay Glory, as they get that momentum, as they get moving up the field, it's going to take its toll, obviously, with playing a player down on the legs. Fortunately, the team is at an exceptional fitness level, but regardless of the level of play that you're at, when you are outnumbered, you are physically moving far greater. Adria looking to take opportunity. Shot on goal looks like transitioning into a save by the Glory.
And it's difficult enough to play any stretch of a game a man down, but having to play nearly the full game, 70 minutes minimum, will be played man down for the Glory, barring a red card or a sent off for Adria. That is a long time to have to cover extra field. As anyone who has played this game knows, these soccer pitches, you write a bit throughout these games. You are getting your steps in for sure, especially when this level of competition, you play a man down for 70 minutes of a game.
Absolutely. And again, starting to see that sun poke through, starting to see the shadow a bit more on the field for some of the players in the stadium itself. And even though right now you're looking in the low to mid 60s at the Bantable on the field, because of it being turf, it is going to be warmer. So again, that the teams and the players especially are going to wear themselves out a little bit more than it might appear as we're moving along. And I remember growing up, that was the one thing a coach always taught us, is the ball will move faster than anyone's legs will be able to. So expect the Glory, you mentioned it earlier, Jacob, to focus on not going through, changing what they're doing in their overall game plan, really trying to focus on that possession, not just for the sake of the game, but for the sake of being able to keep everybody's legs as fresh as possible.
Possession, Glory have it working up their far sideline. Get it centered into the box. Shot on, but nothing in the back of the net. Saved away by Adria's keeper. Yeah, this is as you were talking, that the sun poking in and out of clouds. The nice thing is this is early or mid-spring in Wisconsin, so even when that sun comes out, that temperature difference is only going to get you up to about 70 or so versus the 90, 100 plus that it may get to in midsummer. Still will mess with your conditioning early on in this season, especially. You don't maybe have your late season lungs, your late season legs in you yet. But then on the other side of that, you tend to not have as many injuries that you may be dealing with. So you take the good, you take the bad. And all you can do is play the game in front of you. As Adria has it working towards the center, slide tackle. And that will probably be a free kick for Adria in a dangerous area of the field, as another card, this time earned by the Glory.
Again, I expect this to be a difficult situation. Adria is going to be focusing on, okay, we haven't had a lot of opportunities where we've truly challenged. They've had a few diving saves made by the Glory's goalkeeper. However, expect them to challenge them right here. They definitely have the legs to be able to drive the ball in. Let's see how they handle the free kick.
A very dangerous spot of the field. Glory will set up a wall. Getting instructions from center field referee on where that wall can be set up. We're about 5 yards outside the box. 18-yard box, that is. Ball sent in.
Just
up and over for a goal kick. So crisis avoided once again for the Glory. As that free kick sailed out. Less than 10 minutes here in the first. Still not up 0-0. Glory had early possession in their favor. But as it approached the 20-minute mark, that balanced back out by Adria. Glory earned a red card and will be playing down a man. And now possession from that red card to this point, more in favor of Adria. Glory will have a couple of threats they've on, and they've brought defenders back. Just one Glory player kind of staying on their side of midfield. Ball sent deep down for Adria, pushed over towards the far sideline. Dangerous situation. Adria has it pushed forward, but sent clear. Pass was looking for someone to make a run, but whether slick miscommunication or off-target pass, Glory will take it as they can turn the ball the other direction. Sent up towards midfield. Glory pushed across midfield. Pushed too far out of bounds, up ahead, and cleared back to the goal. That far sideline has been the place we saw the Glory attack the couple of times they've made the push deep into Adria's territory. Seem to favor that right wing for the attacking half of the Glory. Adria's pushed it up both the far left and the near right side as they bring it up the left side here. Pushed forward. Centered on. Cleared all the way across. And there's the first shot of the woods you can see up above the goal behind the Glory's defending half.
If there wasn't motivation before to keep the ball and the shots low, that's definitely a great one.
Glory block the send in, now attacking back the other direction. Numbers in favor of Adria, but nearly balancing out now. Ball is pushed forward, but great header, saving it back out, keeping pressure off. Adria has the throw in just behind the midfield stripe.
And it looks like we're going to be having a substitution for the Glory. So as they're substituting, we are for the Green Bay Glory looking to and proud to recognize the incredible sponsors who help power the mission on and off the field, including our premier sponsors, including the kit sponsor, Renning, Lewis, and Lacey, one of the longest-standing supporters for the Green Bay Glory, and the proud sponsor of all for the 2025 season, including the black kit that the men are sporting right now, known as the Balance Kit, featuring scales of justice, symbolizing the team's mission to balance life and sport. Jersey Mike Subs, fueling the players, official food sponsor, keeping the players fueled before and after competition, dedicated to helping athletes perform their best through fresh, quality meals. Nicolay Bank, Glory's very first sponsor back in 2019. Back again and have been loyal ever since. They are doing a lot of community tickets, and the players have been popping up at practices and giving area youth a Glory experience. And Western Racket, fitness and recovery sponsor, who provides the players with access to premier training, wellness, and recovery facilities, helping the Glory athletes stay strong, healthy, and ready for every match, including when they are down a player.
Yeah, community is something this Glory team has really focused on from day one with the Glory women, as we've been part of helping them out on the media side. At least Alex and I have. They really do push a lot of community involvement, from the youth sending their players out to youth practices around the area, the community engagement events, trying to really convince people that this Green Bay area, and yes, they're the Green Bay Glory that now play in Appleton, but they started playing up in Green Bay. And we're really trying to convince people and prove to people that this area is not just alive during Packers football season. there is plenty of other high-quality sport you can have, and that is because this area is, their athletes on all levels are really involved in their community.
Absolutely. And again, that Green Bay Chicago, I hate to be that guy bringing up the battle, but we've got a Glory goal.
Take advantage of a slight misplay by Adria, push it forward, get it up that far right side once again. Attack from that right side.
Looks like Ben Omernick going through, being able to get the goal here for the Green Bay Glory here in the 43rd minute at the Banta Bowl.
So even though you are playing that man down from the 20-minute mark, again, found an opportunity, and that's just proof that even though you are a man, if you pick your moments, you can really turn things in favor very quick. And that almost, I mean, not almost, that will help as we've been approaching the time mark. That can help you really get your feet under you and set up your tone for the second half. Because you survived 13 or 23 minutes playing man down and actually come out, hopefully, if you are the Glory, going into half with a 1-0 lead.
Absolutely. It's easier to go through and keep that forward momentum, but Adria here looking to put a stop to that.
A dangerous tackle from behind. And that, again, another third yellow for the Glory. Or scratch that, second yellow for the Glory. It started as a yellow but turned into a red. But multiple Glories with yellow cards.
The referee has called another yellow card on Dominic Morgana, number 24 for the Glory, but because that is his second yellow card today.
Scratch that. That is Dominic Lagona's second yellow card, so his day is done as well. And now it turns into a 9-11 advantage for Adria.
And again, this is one of those moments where Glory had the opportunity to go through and capitalize, which they did with the goal, but now heading into minutes and heading into halftime, that energy and that momentum ran into a brick wall. Adria looking to capitalize.
A dangerous spot on the field, maybe hoping for an equalizer, our Adria. And after falling to 1-0, could tie this up here. Dangerous area. Shot on. Saved, kept clean. So stoppage time here of the first half. Glory down 2 players now after a red and then double yellows. No indication that I've seen of how much stoppage time we will have. Ball sent up the far sideline, cross back to Adria near midfield. Trying to push forward quickly. Get the ball along the far side. Glory able to save it away, send it forward. Kill at least a little bit of the stoppage time. 3 minutes stoppage time at a minimum here. Ball sent down into the corner, but just too far ahead of the left winger for Adria. This is where that chess match at soccer can be at times, of how much time you can kill on throw-ins or free kicks and the like.
In the most strategic way possible. Right now, those woods are looking a lot nicer.
You can definitely get into trouble if you play that chess match a little too obviously. but that is part of the game. As again, 3 minute stoppage time were added here in the first half. Ball sent forward out of bounds. Glory will have another throw in.
Definitely not in a rush to go through and get play restarted again. Trying to use as much of that stoppage time as they can while playing down 2 players, both from red cards.
One red was earned via a dangerous tackle, and then the second, a double pair of yellows for Dominic Lagonia. But the difference maker right now in this one, a goal from Ben Omernik in the 43rd minute. And now Glory trying to kill what's left of the 3 minute stoppage time that was added here in the first half. Adria sends it in, but a goal kick for the Glory. Should be approaching what is left of the rest of stoppage time. And this is another place where that chess match of killing time can really come into play, but can also earn opportunities as well. Just a slight tip of the counter for Adria. Glory repossess, and that will to halftime here. Green Bay Glory have the 1-0 lead here at home from Lawrence University Stadium at the Banta Bowl in Appleton, Wisconsin.
First half thoughts, Jacob.
A great job by the Glory dealing with the adversity they've had faced with them. A 20th minute red card, scored a goal down 1, but then all that momentum came to that grinding halt as Dominic Lagonia earned his second yellow. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least, to see how they approach this second half, having the advantage in the score, down 2 players the rest of the way out.
Agreed. Obviously, the initial focus on moving that ball around and possessing, working to their favor those first 10, 15 minutes. And then as things started to even out, RWD Adria really pushing up on some of those counterattacks against the Glory defense, being able to get a few shots both on and off goal before that first difficult yellow was transitioned into a red card by the referee. Obviously, Glory being able to warm that by not panicking. Now, do you foresee the change in style of play coming out as we start the second half, now that the Glory are down 2 players on the field?
I would say maybe just a little bit. They got that 1 goal down a player by taking advantage of a misplay from Adria. They found it up the right sideline, which is where they had been attacking the entire game. They picked the opportunity, even though they had backed off and played heavily more on defensive side, just keeping maybe 1 player in the offensive area. So I don't expect them to change too much from that change. Obviously, it's a change from what they started the game with, but I think we will see them fully transition now into a defensive mode first. And Adria, we saw them go on there, try and really picked up their momentum, picked up possession, and they want to pick their moments a little better, get a couple extra cleaner passes, as they've gotten the ball up both sidelines, but maybe 1 or 2 passes just a step or 2 ahead of their attacking players. So I expect them to really put the pressure on against the Glory, who are down 2 players.
Absolutely. And again, anytime you have such heated and such theater that comes from this, the fields definitely show out, and obviously the fans from both teams being able to show up in person again with this weather, sometimes it could be a little incremental. You could see a lot of the additional folks. So it looks like some kids running down to get into the field because, again, such a great connection with the community is the Green Bay Glory. And we like to thank the generous partners, youth and families across Northeast Wisconsin, getting the chance to experience the Glory. Thanks to our community ticket sponsors, Dr. Cindy Giocaris, Foyt Financial Group, Down to Earth Landscaping, and Calgon Carbon Corporation. And a few of our ongoing partner shout outs, because again, this is not something that can just be done by showing up. We definitely have Roxanne Knight Photography, who has been capturing the Glory since day one, and the visual storyteller behind the lens. In Spirit Therapy, the official medical partner for 2025, again, keeping the athletes healthy and game ready. Cellcom, providing the tech support and connectivity for a smooth game day experience. And our additional loyal sponsors and supporters, Nicholas Hop Web Development, Hejim Creative, Catalyst Consulting, Baird Wealth Management, and Lizer Landscape and Nursery. We are so grateful for the businesses and individuals who continue to support our mission to spread the glory throughout the community. The belief and vision helps us grow the game, inspire the next generation, and build something truly special.
Great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
Restoration is more than walls. It's more than paint. It's more than cleaning. That's the thing we'll never forget. For Belfour, it's your memories. It's your life's passion. It's your home. Belfour, restoring more than property.
In our online world, we have access to endless communication channels. But despite our online connections, one dynamic will always separate the value in a phone call from an email, and that's relationship. Growing businesses and customer relationships live and die by the phone system, and an enterprise phone solution is the key to bridging the communication gap between you and your customers. At Spectrum VoIP, we exist to make sure your communication is seamless, consistent, and reliable. With simple pricing and reliable support, we dramatically reduce your telecommunication expenses. We come to you to install, train, and onboard your team, and our 24/7 support team is always available to help. Our interactive web portal has endless features that include the real-time data you need, the ability to record, download, and re-listen to phone calls, and sending SMS text messages straight from your computer. And the best part is that all of this is available in the palm of your hand. Since reliability is one of your top priorities, we make it one of ours. So what makes us different? We don't just connect your phones. We power your connection with your customers, your team, and your next level as a business.
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Jacob Nate and Alex Young back here from Lawrence University's campus, the Banta Bowl in Appleton, Wisconsin. The Green Bay Glory have a 1-0 lead over RWD Adria Chicago. That goal coming in on a 43rd minute goal from Ben Omernick, assisted by Tyler Bagley. But the second half, Glory will be down 2 players as a red card 20th minute, and then double yellows, second yellow, sending off Dominic Lagonia in the 3rd minute of the first half. So again, Chicago down 1 scoreboard, but up 2 as men on the field goes in. Alex, what are you looking forward to here in this second half?
I mean, if I'm the RWD Adria coach, I'm having my conversation with the players and I'm letting them know, hey, they are down 2 players. Their legs, they're going to be tired. We want to focus on getting them to come to you for the ball and to get them moving, get them running. Their intention is going to be, how can I go through and get the Green Bay Glory squad as tired as possible, as quickly as possible? So expect them to really look to spread the field and really get the Green Bay Glory to be shifting and moving and coming out to challenge to get that extra running out of the players. And if, on the flip side, the Green Bay Glory have done a fantastic job so far when they were starting with full 11, and then obviously when they dropped down to 10, and then again dropping down to 9 to focus on possession for the ball. So I would expect the Green Bay Glory to really emphasize trying to possess the ball even more so, less of the 50-50 pass. If I'm a Glory player, when I was originally looking to play that ball in and try and counterattack, expect them to control and possess the ball and move it slowly up the field. Don't expect some of those long, over-the-top counterattacks, because with Adria having those 2 extra field players quickly and apply that pressure that so far the Glory have been able to withstand.
One extra advantage the Glory may have is the deeper bench, as it appears on the sign. Just a few extras on the bench for Adria, but full crew over there for the Glory. Kind of pick and choose them off the bench a little easier for the Glory than it will be for Adria the rest of the way. A 2-man advantage the rest of the way out for RW Adria. Glory having the 1-0 lead. Adria in the white kits working right to left here in the second half with possession. Glory in the black kits tonight.
Again,
this is
seeing Adria
game-
right out of the gate, spreading the field wide with their wingers, and Glory focusing more so, every single player being on the defensive side, trying to keep everything as balanced as possible. So expect the ball to be moving around similar to hockey, looking for those power plays, trying to spread the field as wide as possible and create those opportunities.
This is game 1 of 2 of a doubleheader for the squads. Men game first as a save in goal once again for the Glory. But then the Glory women have a game shortly after this one scheduled for is that a 7:30 kickoff or is that a 7 o'clock kickoff?
7:30.
7:30. We'll be back for that one as well. But we got to get through the second half of this one first. Handball violation called against Adria. Glory take it and send it back.
Again, focusing on that possession as much as possible rather than trying to create those 50-50 opportunities that, if lost, could be some excess run and wear and tear on the legs that they need to keep as fresh as possible for those 45 minutes to finish this match.
The moments where we did see the Glory in the first half kind of start to create those advantages, they brought the ball up the attacking right side. Adria brought it up both the left and right as they tried attacking, but most of the Glory attacks came up that right wing, and that is where the goal started from. A misplay from Adria in that 43rd minute, taking up the right side, sent in and into the back of the net. So we will see if that stays the case, if the Glory do try and create some of that momentum or pick their moments, bring it up the right side once again, or if they carry it over to balance out on the left side. Adria this time send it forward, but goalkeeper for the Glory has the save once again.
And again, Green Bay Glory moving this half from left to right in their black kits as RWD Adria is moving from right to left. So as Jacob's talking about the Glory right winger really being able to capitalize in the first half, that would have been the far side of the field. For those at home and those viewers that are watching this match right now on the National Soccer Network, Green Bay Glory is moving left to right with that offense that they were able to leverage, being now on the near side of the field. RWD Adria moving from right to left as they progress down the field.
Ball sent up the left side for Adria. Still working as the camera panned back inside, sent all the way across. Just a little too far, a little too wide. And that'll turn into a Glory throw-in. Ball sent, thrown forward. All the throw-ins we've seen from Glory have been long things. They haven't really ducked it down short to anybody. Some of those, even from that position in the first half where they just were, they were throwing that ball all the way into the box, almost creating a set piece from the throw-in. Opening up the game, we saw the Glory have momentum for probably minutes, having near 90% of the possession. But Adria put pressure on several times later on in that first half, partially helped due to being a player down, that being the Glory, but partially because the Glory backed off and Adria got their feet underneath them and started picking left and right side run up against the Glory. But good job in goal for the keeper for the Glory, keeping that at a 0. And the Green Bay Glory men, again, one of the younger teams you may have out there. A couple seasons in, earned promotion. So this is year 1 for the West Premier League. Glory women started back a few years prior. The full success that the men's have had earning promotion, but Glory women started 2019, survived through COVID, and back once again tonight as well. Five minutes into this second half, Glory seeming to play a little more cautiously, as expected, down 2 men. We saw quite a bit in that pushing advantage. When they thought they had an opportunity, they would go with it and stretch the field up. But now, defense is favored.
And again, as expected, once they go through and they dispossess Adria, holding on to the ball.
Ball slips through. Flag is up, though. Offsides.
As I was saying, as Glory, the moment they got the ball, rather than trying to focus on how fast can we get the ball down the field, really looking to keep the ball closer to them, keeping it at their feet, trying to possess as much as possible. And again, the smart and wise decision, because the one thing that the Adria team is going to be able to leverage here in these next 40 minutes or so is the ability to double team or trip opportunities as the game progresses.
And what we maybe saw in the first half where the Glory would create momentum, now they may just be looking to find one if there's one available, but they know the advantage on the scoreboard. So if they can just play this one smart, the rest will earn themselves a 1-0 victory.
Again, getting the ball, you see Glory moving along the near side of the field, looking for that switch. Adria getting in the way, making the block. And again, this is where Glory has to be careful, where the numbers of Adria are going to be able to create additional opportunities. Looks like we were able to get the video feed back here at the Banta Bowl in Appleton, Wisconsin at Lawrence University as Green Bay Glories taking on RWD Adria in a battle at the top of the table. Both the teams having a strong start to the season with earning 7 and 6 points respectively with a positive goal differential. Couple of the matches being a little bit tighter, but you were able to go through and see RWD Adria having a 5-2 routing over AFC Roscoe this past Wednesday on the 14th. Each of the teams having a competition, Glory having won over RWD Chicago, as well as RWD Adria Chicago having a 1-1 draw earlier in the season on May 4th before going through and coming up here for today's match at 5 p.m. Today is a busy day, too. We've got a couple of the teams in the middle of the table who are going through, have not had any matches played yet. We're looking at Bavarian United and DeKalb County. Both of them are getting their feet wet as the day starts. Bavarian United playing against AFC Roscoe. And then followed by quite a few of the other teams for the remainder of the evening as the game continues to progress.
And this being early on the season, as Adria earns a corner, may be something that is definitely helping the Glory, as again they're down at 2 players. But thankfully, early in this season in Wisconsin, weather is much more friendly than it will be later in the season. Temperature not also playing against you. Glory have it pushed forward, but dispossessed across midfield and slow things back down. Do Adria as they were out of position after that corner. And who may be joining late. Glory 2 players down, a red card in the 20th minute, and then a double yellow, which the second yellow came in the 43rd. The one goal for the Glory came in the 43rd minute. Ben Omernick scoring after an assist from Tyler Bagley. 2 yellows on Adria's side in the 20th minute and one in the 25th minute. But so far, nothing on the scoreboard for Adria. And the 1-0 score you see in front of you now in the 56th minute. Just a slight breeze out there in the Banta Bowl in Appleton, Wisconsin. Throw in for Adria. The throw-ins that the Glory had this half of the field in that rough relative position were thrown all the way into the box, but Adria here throws it short.
Looks like whistle bringing the linesman flag up. Looks like an offsides on Adria on the near side of the field.
That offside came when may have been on the throw itself. So the Glory's keeper will head over and send it forward once again. Up across midfield, sent out of bounds there on the first touch. Glory get the throw in. Again, another long throw in for the Glory. That is something we've seen from all game. Whistle drawn right away on that as well, though. But that is something we, as mentioned, Glory, all of their throw-ins generally tend to be longer throws. Dispossessing Adria once again and sending it forward just to clear it out.
And again, Glory having to go through and make those adjustments. For the majority of the game, they were looking at playing a 4-4-2 and in some instances a 4-3-3, depending on how the attack was shaping out. But now having to transition to being with 8 field players only, where do you go through if you're the Glory team and make those adjustments? You don't want to go through and lose the defense that has been able to be successful so far into the match. Midfield again, where that possession needs to be. So I expect the offense and those offensive opportunities to be probably the area where the Glory is going to suffer the greatest here in the second half.
And that's maybe where you can take the sacrifice to lead. Playing one person down, you can find those moments and kind of have one of your midfielders bounce back and forth between defense and full offense. But now 2 down, thankfully for the Glory, you have that lead where you can fully just kind of remove one of those positions up front and bring an extra midfielder back and keep that position almost normal. It is dangerous if you give up a goal, as Adria's been putting pressure on here for a majority of this half. Glory really want to keep that lead, not potentially earn a victory, but just because if they give up one goal, is even more momentum that Adria has in their favor. And sometimes, as many people see in soccer, that's the floodgates opening when you can get that first one in.
And again, situations like that throw in. Prime example, you saw the Glory player looking for somebody who was open. However, being 2 players down, he's not going to spot that. So it's choosing the lesser of 2 evils. It's who is not being double teamed.
And that is something that's very easy from our perspective to maybe see how things need to play out, but you play in soccer many times where you're down either red. One is much different than being down 2. Down 1, it's just almost like, hey, sometimes someone's out of position, that's why you're down 1. Well, down 2, that is a lot of extra field that you are suddenly having to cover that you aren't used to having to cover. That can leave both left and right side, and someone can creep in those back sides, and often those lead to those dangerous shots on goal.
Agreed. And when you go through and you have games like this, they often say that the most difficult lead to hold is the one where it's 2-1, and the reason that is it shows that both teams are able to offensively capitalize on opportunities that they may have on goal. This 1-0 lead that the Green Bay Glory have over RWD Adria, even though Adria is knocking on the door with shots like that, is something that, if I'm the Glory, and if I'm the coaching staff, yes, I understand I might have to make a transition as to giving up some of that additional offensive firepower that they've been able to highlight, not just with this season with the few matches they've played, but last season as well. But it's something where I'm hanging my hat on the fact that we are keeping RWD Adria, again, with a +4 goal differential so far this season, top of the table with a clean sheet. So that definitely speaks volumes to the organization and the capability of the defense for the Green Bay Glory. But RWD Adria, they still have now, heading into the 63rd minute, enough firepower and enough opportunities to see what they can create and trying to challenge and change that score to being a evened up 1-1.
Yeah, and it's multiple ways that the Glory can kind of take that and use that post-game as another great shot on goal, but great defense, better defense keeping it out of the goal. Not only did you keep a Adria off the scoreboard for this long, you've done it when you've been down 1 since the 20-minute mark, down 2 since the 43rd minute. You kept them from doing so much, even when you look at you were advantage for such a portion of this game.
Agreed.
And something else that we've noticed, or that I've noticed here in this second half, is that there's been less contact than what we saw in the first half from both sides. The early on portion of the game, or I'd say maybe the 15-minute mark, is another shot on goal just high from. We saw plenty of contact early on, and things kind of calmed down a little bit after that red card in the 20-minute mark until the second yellow, which was his tackle from behind in the 43rd. But now this entire second half has not been too aggressive. Aggressive movement and aggressive shots, but not the contact we saw.
Absolutely. On the one hand, the Glory understand that this referee is not afraid to make transitions for yellow card and difficult physical contacts and challenges that they may have gotten away with for those first 10 to 15 minutes. So on the one hand, they don't want to go down potentially a third player if they find themselves in a 50-50 chance. And if I'm a Glory player and I know this, that the referee is able to change his mind on some of those attacks, I might be a little more cautious. I might hang up a little bit more and try to stay on my feet in some of those more 50-50 opportunities. And on the flip side, RWD Adria doing what they can to move the ball around. And the last thing they want to do is give up this opportunity that they have to play with 2 additional players. Looking at how easily they've been able to move the ball around and create those opportunities. Similar to basketball, they're trying to find the open man to try and probe against the Green Bay Glory defense and create those options and those looks on goal. We're already seeing here, as we're 20 minutes in to this second half, more opportunities are out of RWD Adria in these 20 minutes than the entire first half.
Yeah, this Glory defense, the entire second half appears to be set with just dispossessing and the ball. I'm sure if they get an opportunity, they will take it, but they aren't really trying to create the opportunities we saw them trying to create in the first, which is very obvious when you think they're down 2 men. And there they do get it up across midfield, maybe the first stretch of actual offense attempted by the Glory the entire second half. And just basing on reactions, may have had a shot on goal. Camera that, for those who may not be aware, automatically pans back and forth to keep the action, for the most part, in view. And sometimes, especially maybe with white jerseys, the camera may get confused at times where that ball ended up being. So Adria has it back after the little burst of offense that we saw from the Glory. Turn it back over to the Glory, and this may be a dangerous spot here as Adria has the turnover, kicks it forward. One-on-one shot on, shot in after a diving attempt. And we have a 1-1 ball game here as Adria, that is the dangerous spot that you can have. You're in the 66th minute. The equalizer goal put in, a turnover near midfield, one forward. One apiece.
And again, now that goal was made by RWD Adria, dynamic changes a little. Now it doesn't look like it's going to be a how do I take advantage of the opportunity, which they were just able to do. RWD Adria is looking at building on some of that momentum. Again, catching the Green Bay Glory defense, who have done fantastic through 65 minutes on that counterattack. Here we see it happening again. Goal.
That one just wide of the mark. Where you have the goal kick. But that's one of those opportunities that we saw and we were talking about early on here in this second half. You made the run, trying some offense on, did the Glory. But then after midfield, one simple quick turnover, and you're spread so thin on that back line when you try to get, leaves your back end very vulnerable.
Absolutely. Again, Green Bay Glory having two Glory players challenge for the ball, colliding, allowing the RWD Adria player to maintain possession. Not only are you down two players from cards, but now you have two additional players that had gone through and made the mistake. So again, Adria, I expect to be able to try and push for more opportunities and build on that momentum. What I'm looking for the Glory to do is, again, the mindset needs to shift. It cannot be let's play not to lose. They still need to go through and have the mindset of, okay, what can we do to play to win? And that's going to be difficult being down two players.
Another thing in mind is Adria does not have a clean slate out in front of them. Two yellows out there as well. So the Glory can try and maybe take advantage of that as well. If they can keep track of who has those yellows, that's where you can kind of maybe push a little bit and play that chess match. But again, you need to be careful with the opportunities you try to create, because trying to recover down two men is very difficult to do, as they just found out.
Looks like Glory clearing the ball long over the top, showing that little bit of spark and a little bit of offense. Adria looking at capitalizing on that counter attack that we've seen them do all match.
"20 minutes to go in one," and Adria did tie it up, so scoreboard has not updated. Just to keep those wondering, it is 1-1. And Adria hoping to find a opportunity. Long shot from out. Deflected wide of the mark.
Yeah, those
You
are
will
those
get
those are
a
those opportunities that's difficult as a goalkeeper, having played myself growing up. You go through and you see the path of the ball and you are committing to making the play, only to have those deflections. Even seeing the Glory goalkeeper already on his right hip trying to make the save, to see it deflect. Adria, again, quick corner.
Top of the box,
And
great deflection.
That was a great save from Green Bay Glory's goalkeeper. Again, Adria having the quick corner restart, getting the ball into play and into an offensive position. Quick shot on goal. Glory making a quick save. At least it appeared as a save. It may have been a deflection now that I see that it's a goal kick. But either way, it looked great.
It didn't get the stat, but he gets the highlight for sure.
Oh, absolutely. It's a freeze frame. And it's interesting, you're seeing the Adria offense players lining up, trying to find that opportunity for the ball to be played over the top again.
And Glory down 2 players, keeping the majority of their crew back for this second portion after giving up that equalizer. Two yellow cards on the board against Adria at this point yet. Glory dispossessed, started to make a little bit of a run once again, but Adria takes it back away, sends it up into the corner, centered on. Head over from the box now. A little bit of contact behind the whistle. And now sent cleared back out of bounds. Adria will have the throw-in. Get it in quickly, send it up the left sideline. Attack from both sides early on in the game. Sent forward down into the corner. Back across the end line, and that will be a goal kick. Time being killed a little bit here by the Glory. Again, Glory black kits working left to right here in the second half. The white kits working right to left. Starting to see a little more contact and player going down up, I would assume. But the contact did not contact throughout the first portion of this second half. Saw plenty of contact in the first half. That seemed to have gotten under control a bit more in the second. Maybe partially due to 5 total cards that we saw first half.
Again, with how Adria has been playing the second half, it's been difficult to see this side of the field. They've been applying so much pressure to the Green Bay Glory defense, who are down 2 players. Now that we've got the score reflecting, they were able to capitalize on a counterattack with a goal to right side netting for RWD Adria, tying the score up 1-1 as the camera continues to pan right to left as Adria makes its way down the field, seemingly in full control, but we're seeing some strong challenges, like Jacob had mentioned, throughout the field.
And this Glory being played in Appleton, Wisconsin. Glory, both men's and women's, play all of their home games at Lawrence University Stadium, Bantam. Offensive push being put on the Glory. Big counterattack busting through quickly. And a shot on.
Celebration right now.
Camera didn't follow.
Again, but showing that spark, seeing the celebration along the sideline. Your Green Bay Glory capitalizing, getting its second goal of the match against RWD Adria. As Jacob mentioned, the camera unable to keep with how quick that counterattack was. And again, that is where the Green Bay Glory are going to be able to capitalize. Sometimes they're boxing out of their weight class, obviously being down 2 players. RWD Adria not wanting to settle for that. And this is where these next 15 minutes are going to be critical. Again, we talked earlier, the 2-1 lead is the most difficult lead in the sport to be able to maintain. So let's see if Green Bay Glory's defense, who have performed exceptionally for 65 minutes outside of the one counterattack, are able to perform, and if they can lock this down and move to the top of the table.
Yeah, 2-1 is difficult at full strength, much less being down 2. So I fully expect to see the Glory now bring a full defense back. We saw them do that a majority of. As a great slide tackle, kick it out of bounds, live to see another down. Big throw. Tipped into the hands of the Glory, and they just clear it once again. Now is where you want to be as the Glory players to keep your spacing where you need it, and do not give any errant passes or have 2 players run into each other, because that is what did the damage that Adria was able to score back in the 66th minute, score the equalizer. 76th minute, Glory able to punch back ahead 2-1.
And again, this we talked earlier about Green Bay Glory being one of the younger teams, if not the youngest team in the division, and being the first time in here. This is where they're really going to be able to show how disciplined they are, being down 2 players, being up 2-1.
Still working to find the camera we can. Did not catch the player that scored the second goal for the Glory, nor the player that scored the equalizing goal at the time for Adria. But a goal kick once again for Glory.
Today we're wearing our black jerseys. Thanks for running with us.
Glory again beginning that chess match of how can we kill as much time as possible. So that really slows down just a little bit.
And celebration again.
Our camera having trouble just panning to that side of the field.
Trouble seeing the goal, having a great opportunity seeing the celebration.
Bagley had the assist early on, but adds one to the score.
Again, Adria looking at getting the restart as quick as possible, not giving the Glory any opportunity to relish in those 2 counterattacks, making it 3-1 as the match continues forward. And again, you feel some of that energy and some of that momentum change. But this is what's going to really show how disciplined this Glory team can be. Can they continue to keep the energy up and to not lose momentum?
And the Glory making me do the old broadcaster's jinx. I was fully expecting them to park that bus on defense once they regained that lead, but they found a moment once again and jump ahead 3-1.
And
But
Adria,
Adria counters, puts one in the back of the net of their own, cuts it back to a 1-score lead for the Glory.
difficult opportunity. Great finish by Adria. Ball played across, headed in past the Green Bay Glory. Again, the ball moving back up the field to the center circle. As the Green Bay Glory are moving left to right in their black kits, sponsored, fortunately, by the premier sponsors, Renning, Lewis, and Lacey, one of the longest standing supporters for the Green Bay Glory, and the proud sponsor of all the official kits for the 2025 season, including the black kit you are seeing here, the Balance Kit, featuring the scales of justice, symbolizing the mission to balance life and sport. Jersey Mike Subs, fueling the players, official food sponsor, keeping the players fueled time before and after the competition, and dedicated to helping the athletes perform their best through fresh quality meals. And they're needing it today, again, playing 2 players down. Nicolay Bank, Glory's first sponsor back in 2019, are back again and have been more loyal than ever, doing as much as they can with community tickets and Glory experiences. And finally, Western Racket, fitness and recovery sponsor, providing the players with access to premier training, wellness, and recovery facilities, helping the Glory athletes stay strong, healthy, and ready for every match. And they are using every bit of that training today here in Appleton, Wisconsin, 82nd minute, and a tough match between Green Bay Glory and RWD Adria.
We are working on getting the details on the second goal. The second goal for the Glory was scored by Tommy Giocaris. The third goal scored by Tyler Bagley. We are working on getting the details on Adria's goals. As again, the camera automatically pans back and forth. So that is why it has missed a couple of the goals in this game.
Ooh, RWD Adria again going up over the top there at the middle of the field as that ball gets reset. Taking some time, leveraging what they can. And while we are waiting for that ball to get reset, let's talk about our community ticket sponsors who have graciously helped be generous in getting families and youth throughout Northeast Wisconsin to experience and have the opportunity to spend time with the Green Bay Glory. Dr. Cindy Giocaris, Foyt Financial Group, Down to Earth Landscaping, and Calgon Carbon Corporation. And our ongoing partners, Roxanne Knight Photography, capturing the Glory since day one, the visual storyteller behind the lens. In Spirit Therapy, the official medical partner for 2025, keeping the athletes healthy and game ready. Cellcom, providing tech support and connectivity for a game day experience. And our additional sponsors and supporters, Nicholas Hop Web Development, Hejum Creative, Catalyst Consulting, Baird Wealth Management, and Lizer Landscape and Nursery.
In the 3-2 lead for the Glory, approaching the final minutes of regulation here from the Bantam University. Adria trying to find the counterattack, hoping to find an equalizer. Bring it up the right sideline. Well, contact in the corner, ball still loose. Adria has it, clear it back out towards.
All of the Adria offense looking to set up like they were track sprinters, waiting for that ball to get into their possession so that it could be played over the top.
Adria has it, kicking, cleared out towards the right side. Adria wants a handball to be called.
Referee waving off some of the players, looking to have the conversation with the linesman, asking the Glory players to stay away. Obviously, each of the players pleading their case. Was the hand in an unnatural position, giving cause for a handball, or, and that's a dangerous spot depending on where it would be, it could potentially be on the corner there of the 18-yard box, and it is being given to RWD Adria for a penalty kick, it appears.
been changed to a handball, which will result in a penalty kick opportunity for Adria.
So Adria is going to have the penalty kick here with the chance at equalizing late in this ball game. And indeed, we do have the equalizer at 3 apiece here in the 86th minute.
Again, each of the teams going through showing their offensive capability. Green Bay Glory fighting through adversity of 2 first-half red cards, one from a direct red card, the other from a pair of yellows that they obtained, fighting back and being able to create a 3-1 lead. RWD Adria showing some of that poise and the ability to recollect themselves and force the ball into the offensive third for the team, creating 2 opportunities that turned into goals, one from an additional penalty of a handball that we just observed with the penalty kick, the other from a cross that was placed via header in the back of the net. So here we are, 2 talented teams at the top of the table. That's a tongue twister if I ever heard one. Going through, duking it out here, heading into the 88th minute.
I'm sure there will be some sort of stoppage time put onto this one, as we've had 5 goals scored here.
Looks like we still have a Glory defenseman back on the ground around the 22, 23 yard line. Combination of that strong physical play that both teams have been having, as well as just being tired. They've been running now for close to 65 minutes. Well, 60 minutes, I should say, being down 2 players. So now you're not just running for yourself. The other 8 players that are on the field having to go through and pick up the slack and run for the additional 2 players that are currently missing. Now, as we head into the 89th minute, Jacob, do you find either team looking to change how they play to try and get one more to put themselves up for the win?
Not seen each of these teams score multiple goals now in the second half, both kind of playing we've had. Adrian now, even though our scoreboard showing 3-2, it is a tie 3-3 ball game. We've seen the Glory find those moments, not creating early, but finding the moments where they can break ahead. And Adrian now with momentum on their side, tying it up once again, may be able to push forward and get the go-ahead goal late in this ball game.
Seen Adria having free reign of the field, bringing the ball up 40-plus yards before being challenged by Green Bay Glory's defense, moving the ball around and everyone lining up on the back of the posts, hoping for another ball to get played across.
Pressure on here against Glory, having to defend 2 men down and deep in their own territory. Closing 30 seconds of regulation. Ball sent forward, cleared temporarily, sent back in now. Cross and pushed back into the feet of the Adria.
The ladies are going to get a chance to warm up, and then in roughly a half hour, we'll be capping off their game, the Glory against Milwaukee City FC.
Ball's going to roll across the back end line. Glory will earn a goal kick. We'll see if we can get an indication of how much added time will be tacked on here, or if we'd see this one end in a 3-3 draw. Went forward. Again, this team 1 of 2 tonight. The Glory women will be playing yet tonight. Adria bring it across midfield. Glory send it back deep into Adria territory.
Again, seeing each of these teams looking to land that haymaker in stoppage time. And there we have it. Green Bay Glory and RWD Adria going through a 3-3 draw here as we close out the 92nd minute. Jacob, with this hard-fought match, any final thoughts as to everything that they've been able to accomplish?
They're going to take away from this one. The Glory played at least one man down, ended up playing 2 men down for a good portion, and they were able to come away with the draw, even though they may look back at it and say, hey, we had the lead multiple times. They earned the draw here yet tonight, and Adria put a lot of pressure on a team that was, once they had that lead, kind of parking extra defenders back behind. So the grit they showed to still force their way through multiple times, coming in time the game up high as well.
Yeah, this is definitely a match I would not go through and let my head hit the ground. I know it's disappointing when you go through and you have a 3-1 lead only to see it squandered with a great nothing against RWB Adria. The cross for the header and the goal, beautiful. The slightly questionable 3-3 win coming from a PK RWB Adria had there at the end. We have the Green Bay Glory looking to take a little bit of time off, get recollected as they go through and play for their next match. Looking here now, we're coming in at Sunday, May 25th, where Chicago House AC is at the Green Bay Glory and RWB Adria, looking at getting their next match set up here. Let me pull that up. We've got... Dun, dun, dun. Oh, they've got a little bit of extra time. They are going to be on Friday. Oh my gosh, I'm just going through and going crazy. Saturday, excuse me. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know the next time that they're playing. I'm pulling up the schedule, trying to locate it. Do not see it. I'm Alex Young, here with Jacob Nate. Jacob, here's to the second match with the Green Bay Glory coming up with the Green Bay women's team already on the field getting warmed up. Any final parting words?
Final parting words is go ahead and tune into the next game, because hopefully we'll be treated to another great game, as we just saw the first one here is, again, for the National Soccer Network. I am Jacob Nate. He's Alex Young. And you just saw a 3-3 tie between Green Bay Glory and RWB Adria.